Good morning, good afternoon. It's about, it's 1:18 p.m. on Monday, 19th of January. Oh man, managed to stress myself out by not vlogging anything yesterday, but I literally would not have been able to do it at all, even if I tried. I was so completely out of it. I was so fucked up. After the night before. Wait, hang on. Let's pause this.
You ain't got no liquidity, dude.
I did actually manage to go out for a bit yesterday morning and went into Manchester, had a cup of tea, but I did not feel good at all. I was really just like suffering all day. And then even when I went home, went back to sleep, I was just suffering again in my sleep. Or I keep waking up after having these dreams and I'd be feeling like, I'd wake up, I'd feel ill, I'd feel like mentally ill, like just not good, like, and I keep after reminding myself, like, okay, I was just dreaming, it's not real. And then I did manage to get some peaceful sleep as well. That's managed to refresh me a little bit. And now I finally got up. I feel all right. Man, we had a bit of a crazy night. It was mostly me having a crazy night. I'm not even sure how to explain it. I don't think I will explain it. I think I'll just leave that. So, I'm up again now for the day. It's already midday, so the morning's already gone. I'm going to try and make the most out of the rest of the day. And I'm going to try and get back to doing the video. Yesterday was the first day off since I started daily videos. But daily video only means daily video as long as I'm feeling good and as long as I'm wanting to do a video. If I have the enthusiasm, I'll do it as often as I can. And so if you don't see anything for a while, it's just that I'm taking time off it for whatever reason. I started noticing the last couple of days of videoing, I was much more reluctant to get the camera out, and then I didn't have quite as much to say. But I understand that. We're all I think I self-imposed quite a lot of pressure on myself based on other people's expectations. And I'm more and more going back to now thinking of the way I used to be when I was just okay with myself, and I did accept myself before other people started telling me that, before other people tried to start imposing pressure on me. I used to be okay with just doing things the way I wanted to do them. You know, if so I've tried now already to try and impose this pressure on myself to perform in front of the camera and to try to get as many shots as possible as often as I can. It's not that important. Quality over quantity always. Sometimes I'll make the effort to do a video and it'll still come out crap. I mean, you might think it's crap, but it's I have no real control over what happens. All I have control over is when I press record and when I press stop. And even that I have limited control over anyway, because if I can't feel the will to bring myself to do that, then I have no control over that. I mean, I actually subscribe to that philosophical way of thinking. I'm not sure what you call it. I think it's determinism. Determinism, my understanding of it, please correct me if this is not what determinism is. Determinism basically means everything is going to happen the way it's going to happen, and you basically have no control over it. Even the actions that you take that other people would say that you had control over your actions, because they say it's your actions, so you have control over your actions. Well, you have to question who's the you and who's the your, and that's what determinism sort of says, is that there's no real individualized sense of I, and that whatever you do, whatever anyone does, it's all just happening, and you basically watch it happen, but you're not exactly in control of what's happening, even if you're doing it or you're saying it or whatever. It certainly feels like that sometimes, and you could probably describe this as, if you've ever been in a situation where you become conflicted, whereas you really feel like you want to do something in particular, but you aren't physically capable or able to actually make your body do that thing. This happens to me sometimes, like very early in the morning. It's if I wake up and I'm lay there, I'll keep thinking for a really long time. I want to get up and go to the toilet or something. My body physically won't respond to what I'm trying to make my body do, or I want my body to do. So I'm quote unquote paralyzed in that moment. That's sort of a reflection of what determinism is, in the sense that we have limited free will and often find ourselves with an inability to do what we actually want to do. And that would point to a deterministic universe where, aside from our personal wants and wishes, there is some kind of plan that is unfolding that is outside of our realm of understanding, and that we have no say or choice in. Now, it sounds very pessimistic, and it's really not very emboldening in its in its description, I guess. But it does help you to make sense out of the things that you struggle to accept. It helps to explain why you might do things that you regret. If you do something that you regret, there's a part of you that wishes you hadn't done that, and when you were doing it, there's a part of you that wished you didn't do it. And then there's another part of you that's just watching you do it. And there's another part of you that feels powerlessness in having sort of lost control of your own self. And all of that combined is the essence of who you are in that moment. There's many, many concepts of you in that moment. And so which you is you? You can see all of those ideas or concepts of how you are, who you are. You can see them all as they coexist. I'm not sure if I'm getting any of these philosophical concepts correct in their descriptions. But if you want to hear someone explain these things possibly better than I do, it's worth listening to Alex O'Connor. Or the other good channel for philosophy on YouTube is Unsolicited Advice. I don't know what to do. It's 5:24. I want to go back out. It's not that nice out there though. Might just have to grin and bear it. Put up with it. Because I don't want to stay there. I stayed in all day yesterday. I gotta keep my body moving. Just added that song to my playlist. Offline playlist. I'm not sure who that's by actually. Is it Fatboy Slim? Oh, it's Beastie Boys. Yeah. Beastie Boys. Body Moving. Good tune. So it's been pretty calm so far today. Not much occurring. Not super happy. Just getting on with whatever I've been doing. I did go out for a walkabout earlier. Went to Greg's, got a cup of tea. Pretty uneventful. Got to start thinking about how to keep things moving forward. Last time I saw my dad, oh, that was a fart. Last time I saw my dad, I don't know why. He was just asking me like, what are you? I don't know. He always seems to think that he needs to like try and help me like fix some issue that he thinks I have or something. I never have any issues, but I just have to try to sort of like go along with it because otherwise, I don't know. I don't want to be, you know, it's a very weird situation. He always feels like he really needs to like figure out the solution that what's going to make me happy or something. And I'm like, well, I'm not unhappy, first of all. So I'm not sure why you would need to try to figure out a solution to make me happy when I'm not unhappy. But last time he was trying to say, oh, because I said, oh, I like playing chess and I play chess with people. So he was like, oh my god, you need to join a chess club. So let's find out if there's a chess club nearby and stuff. He's all manic and stuff. And I didn't want or ask or need any. I didn't want or ask for or need any assistance of any kind. But he just kept pushing that. Like, it would have been nice if we could just have like a normal sort of chat. Just pleasant conversation. We could talk about all sorts of things without him doing this thing that he always seems to have to think he has to do. Is always trying to pressure me in some direction on the assumption that I'm like not okay and I need help or something. I don't need help. I am okay. And I don't appreciate like this kind of someone trying to like make me do something. Even if I've stated that I want to do that thing, like if I say I'm like, oh, I like playing chess or whatever, and he's like, oh, we have to go to chess club, blah blah. As soon as like he's trying to make me do that, my interest is completely diminished in doing that. So I don't really see the point in even seeing much of him anymore. That's why we don't really see each other. Because he can't just have like a nice normal conversation. He always has to make it weird. It's just not very friendly behaviour. Anyway, probably gonna have to cut all of that out. I've not really been very hungry since the night out a couple nights ago. Didn't eat anything all day yesterday. And then in the evening at some point, I think I ended up eating a lot. I had like 4 sandwiches in a row, maybe more than that. And then today's been pretty much the same. Like it's 5 o'clock. Well, it's 5:30 now. I did only get out of bed at 1 p.m. But I've not eaten anything, and I'm not hungry. Just want more caffeine, really. I think I've been due a bit of a fasting. I've been due a bit of a fast. can normally tell. I can see it coming to some degree. It's something that I do every now and then. I think everybody does it. When they don't feel hungry as much. Just don't eat as much, do you? It's a good thing to do. Listen to your body. I'd like to have some more fun and laughs and stuff soon. Still very depleted. Been in a very good mood for quite a while, and mostly just recording myself when I'm, happy and excited. Also ready for keeping on recording as things slow down and moods change. I have to try to think through all of the pitfalls of the cliches of YouTubing. It very quickly becomes sort of cringy to see yourself doing the things that you were once excited about, and then it takes like this constant reassessing of what is or isn't the right thing for the moment, in terms of what you're gonna do, how you're gonna shoot that, what you're gonna say. I mean, it's always just gonna be me talking to camera, so it's based on whatever I feel, whatever I think. Same for everyone, same for anyone. Nothing unusual there. But there's all types of content, and there's all there's lots of variety even within the content of a specific person. So that's going to be obvious to people who have already understood that. But I'm not explaining it to them. I'm explaining it to myself out loud for the camera, as this is the realm and the place that I use to explore my own thoughts by thinking out loud and seeing what I come out with, as that is interesting for me. So it's not for you. I'm not saying what I'm saying for you. I'm saying it for me. Yeah, so I reckon it's going to be already dark out there, isn't it? I'm not sure what time it's getting dark right now. Let's find out. 4:28 is when the sun has set today. It's now 5:37. I really don't feel like interacting with people, and that'll stop me a lot of the time from doing anything. Just the thought of even having to have a conversation with somebody Even if it's like going to the shop, grab something, pay for it. Sometimes that is just too much for me to want to even bother with. But then when that kind of thought stops me from doing anything, now I'm suddenly not doing anything. If that compounds and continues, I just continue not doing anything, and I have to keep myself active enough in the right way. But I'm also aware that I don't really want to engage with specific times, specific people in specific places at specific times, based on how that interaction could be based on what that could create through that interaction. So I do sort of carefully and consciously make decisions as to what I do at every moment. And that means picking and choosing what I do and when I do it very carefully and in a very selective way. And that can stop me from doing a lot, but that's because I don't want to do those things that I'm stopping myself from doing. And the reasons are there as to why that is. It's not something I have to explain because it's my choice and I'm the one in control. I get to decide what I do at any point, right? So I don't have to give anyone any explanation for why I'm not doing anything in the way that they may think I should. It's not up to them, it's up to me. So this is like a very specific and direct thought that applies to people and persons that have this desire to influence other people for some reason into situations that are creating negative circumstances for that person. That's obviously not good. You have to be aware when someone is trying to convince you to do something that's going to negatively impact your life. And there's definitely people that do that. There's people that want you to suffer or be harmed in some way. Disgustingly. It's not right that they feel that way. But it does happen, and you can't let them gain any influence over your awareness of what it is they're doing. That awareness is going to remain there, whether they want it to or not. It amazes me how quickly someone can decide what they think it is for you that they want without knowing you at all in any way, without spending any time with you, but thinking they have you figured out as if they possibly could. Crazy stuff. But it's very quickly exposed, and it also falls apart upon the tiniest amount of examination. You just look at it and then it just crumbles. So, I'm not going anywhere right now. I wanted to go out and get more caffeine. I might still do that. It is nicer just to be outside for a bit, even if it's dark. I just don't want to come across any people that I just don't want to see. I always have to feel as though I can separate myself and to keep a respected distance and a respectful distance. And I always hope people treat me with that same respect. But there's been enough times that hasn't happened, and that people who don't know me at all have made their first impression of them being invasive and intrusive and disrespectful and unkind and unpleasant. And I suppose that has in some way impacted me, left me cautious and nervous and wanting to stay away from that. I have no attraction to that whatsoever. Just whatever's going on for those people that live in that way is hellish. It's hellish for them. It's hellish for the people that they surround themselves with. It shocks and surprises me to think how crazy it is that you could be in hell but laughing, and that to me is, it's not really hell if you're laughing. It can't really be hell. But I think there's this huge dichotomy of how people could be laughing on the surface, crying on the inside, and those are the people you really have to be careful for. Those are the ones that are just will really hurt other people with their projections. Laughing on the outside, crying on the inside. Alright, I'm going to go out and I'm going to keep filming. Alright. I really am looking forward to when it's not pitch black at 5:30 in the evening. I don't like to let the weather or the seasons or the light or the light or the lack of light or anything affect me. I don't like to admit that it has any effect on me. And I don't like to believe that it does, because it is just a belief. I mean, there may be, and most likely is, some scientific sort of merit to the fact that the amount of light we get affects our moods. Saying all that, yeah, I am still looking forward to it when it's lighter, for sure. I think what I don't like is about it being dark is the way that people respond and react. Is the assumption is they have much more reason to be fearful just because it's dark, and you don't get quite as much of that during the summer months. People do still act that way. They have this assumption that dark equals scary and bad, therefore it makes sense to be more afraid. So people act a bit weirder at night time. Well, you know, I was just walking along, some guy just said alright to me, and I said alright to him. I mean, it would all seem perfectly normal if only the big glowing ball in the sky was in a different position. So, obviously, I don't have any issue with people being legitimately fearful. Definitely don't hate them for it. In fact, I feel great compassion for them. I love them quite deeply. Don't want them to feel fearful at all. But I think the issue that I do have is that when there's an assumption of a necessity for fear, that leads people towards behaviour that is unnecessarily defensive and can be borderline aggressive, as an attempt at protection from the so-called threat that they picture, which may or may not exist. And I think here's the issue. Now, I understand the way of thinking, and this is the way they think. The assumption is that it's better to err on the side of caution and assume that everybody is a threat to you, because that will protect you from the ones who are. And I think that's an assumption to believe that attitude will actually protect you in some way. It could do, but it also might not. But what you also do by projecting that onto anyone and everyone without using any discrimination whatsoever, what you do is you unfairly create ideas about those who mean no harm to you whatsoever and may not be a threat at all. So, and the counter argument to that is, well, that's what the people who say, that's what people say who really are a threat. Of course, they work harder than anybody to try and convince somebody, I'm not a threat, I'm not a threat, I'm not going to hurt you in any way. You know, I'm not that kind of person. That's the counter argument, is they believe, well, maybe they've been hurt in the past by someone who's tried to convince them of that, or tried to make them believe that was true. So now the point blank assumption is that if someone is trying to prove that they're not a threat, that's even more evidence that they are a threat. Okay, so that applies to a specific individual from a specific situation that has led that person to make this generalized assumption. The generalized assumption does not apply to everyone nor anyone, apart from that individual. It may apply to others, but you can't necessarily make that assumption without knowledge or experience of that behaviour. So the point I'm trying to make really is give everyone a fair chance, assess them as an individual, don't make any assumptions about them, and that's not you not protecting yourself, that's you being fair to those who mean you no harm. Because as much as you keep out all the people who may well wish you harm, you also keep out the people that actually love you and actually care about you and could actually provide much good in your life. You also keep out them. So here's the idea, right? There's no need to have an open door or closed door policy on, well, let's let everyone in. or let's let nobody in. No, discriminate wisely based on each and every individual as they present themselves to you and as you see fit to do so. And also recognise if and when you may be getting your assessment of a person incorrect. Or when you're getting it correct. If you feel you're getting your assessment of a person correct, then keep as much distance as you need to. But if you start to realise you're getting your assessment of other people incorrect, and you're treating them unfairly, or unfairly judging them and their character, then you have to start to rethink what it is you're thinking, how that's making you act, and how that's making you treat other people. Because, you see, I don't personally want to treat other people unkindly in any way. I try to be nice to pretty much everyone. I try to be nice to anyone. There's lots of people that will tell you that you just simply can't be nice to everyone all the time. And it would seem that way. But here's the thing. What can seem like you being not so nice to somebody else can be you being nice to yourself for a change. Or it could be exactly what they needed to hear. Not everyone needs to be spoken to nicely, quote unquote, all the time. And neither do you. Neither does anyone. I think we all as individuals have to understand and respect when we're getting the carrot and when we're getting the stick, when we're getting fair and due criticism and when we're getting praise and support, because they both have their place. They're both important. No one's perfect, so that means we all have things we could take away from what other people say. Now, I'm not saying to treat people unkindly. I'm saying to be aware and see both sides of every situation that would lead you to create a distinct judgment that sides with with one side or another, because that's what tends to lead you to create these outright demonization blanket statements of such and such a person is a bad person or whatever. Of course they're not a bad person. No one's a bad person. People do bad things. Everyone's a complicated mix of good and bad, positive and negative. But if you just take your limited perception of specific circumstances involving a person from your perspective, you could be unfairly misled into discriminating against a person as opposed to creating a discerning attitude towards their behaviours, which you have to understand there's a huge difference between that. A person is not their behaviours. Now, to some degree, a person is made up of the accumulation of their behaviours. That's the past of that person. That's not the person. That's not the future. That's not the present neither. And it's recognising this multidimensionality to all people, which separates them from the realm of this or that, good and bad, left or right, yes and no, this kind of person, that kind of person, being on a side of any kind. None of that is within the full scope of who you are. None of that is in the full scope of who I am. And none of that is within the full scope of who anyone is. We're all much more complex and complicated than you'd possibly think. And knowing that is actually what frees you up to discover much more freedom in life. You'll feel you'll be able to go to places you've never been to before. You'll be able to talk to people you've never been able to talk to before. You'll be able to realise and discover things you've never realised nor discovered. And the only way to do that is to have your mind open in this way, in understanding no one is black nor white. No one is this or that. No one is defined by a single word. If you understand that, then you can see the brilliance and the beauty that is all around you already, but you just haven't opened your eyes. It is dark, it is raining, but I'm going out for a bit. Been out for a good while now, having a good chat, caught up with a couple of people. No drinking today, no smoking. Trying to be good for a change. Not just that I'm trying to be good, just don't feel like it. It's better for your health anyway, isn't it? The days on are only as good as the days off, you know? That's what I think. So, probably going to be heading home pretty soon. Not sure about what time I'm going to get to sleep because I got up at 1 PM, but we'll see. Anyway, back again tomorrow for some more. Alright.